Co-op shares are units of ownership in a cooperative corporation that owns an apartment building, not unlike owning shares in a regular business corporation. The co-op corporation's main asset will typically be the apartment building, and thus each shareholder will own a piece of it. Co-op shares come with a proprietary lease that entitles the shareholder to occupy a specific apartment which they have de facto ownership of. Co-op shares can be bought and sold, and thus co-op apartments can be traded just like condos or townhomes. What is a co-op apartment? A co-op apartment is an apartment in a co-op building that a shareholder has an indefinite right to occupy, despite the apartment being actually owned by the co-op corporation. However, the co-op corporation hands out proprietary leases along with stock certificates for specific apartments, and these proprietary leases essentially allow a shareholder to occupy that apartment indefinitely. Differences between co-ops and condos. The major differences between co-ops and condos are the ability to rent out the apartment, and purchasers need board approval. Co-op boards also have more power versus condo boards and are more empowered to fine, discipline, or even foreclose on shareholders. Whereas a condo board may not be able to do much more than place a common charge lien on a delinquent owner, a co-op board can swiftly foreclose on a shareholder who is behind on maintenance charges. Are co-op apartments real property? Co-op apartments are not real property because the apartment, along with the rest of the apartment building, is owned by the co-op corporation. As a result, co-op shareholders are technically tenants who have a proprietary lease that enables them to reside in their apartment essentially indefinitely. What is a co-op share's stock certificate? Co-op shares are similar to the deed for a house or condo, except you're given a stock certificate versus a deed at closing. The stock certificate will state the name of the corporation, your name, how many shares you own, and other miscellaneous information. Can you borrow against co-op shares? Yes, you can borrow against co-op shares and get the equivalent of a home mortgage. Instead of a deed as collateral, the bank will take your co-op shares stock certificate and proprietary lease as collateral for the loan. Please note that while lending against co-op shares is very common in the New York City real estate market, lenders from other parts of the country will generally be unfamiliar with this type of collateral. As a result, if you're based out of state and buying in New York City for the first time, it's imperative that you work with a locally based mortgage banker on your financing. Working with an out-of-state mortgage banker, even if he or she works at a major nationwide lender, can cause significant delays in your purchase and closing process. How are co-op shares allocated between apartments? The Martin Act of 1921 ensures that co-op shares are allocated fairly between apartments in a co-op building based on reasonable metrics, such as square footage and which floor the apartment is on. Before the passage of the Martin Act, there were shockingly no rules around how co-op shares could be allocated between shareholders with different apartment sizes and configurations in a building. This lack of regulation resulted in much abuse by developers who often retained large penthouse apartments for themselves, but paid much less in monthly maintenance fees versus ground floor studio apartment owners. Looking to buy or sell an apartment in New York? Learn how you can save thousands on your closing costs at www.hauseitnyc.com.